I tell you what, I think the Boston Uprising need to win this one, or else they are in the dangerous the talent is there category. No, they would start to move into. They would start to veer into the talent is there zone. Which, yeah, you never want to be the talent is there zone. I'm here for Johnny's villain arc. It's like he kind of looks like an Austin Powers movie villain. Like
I'll take that. I'll take that
one, but
I'll take that.
I like it. I dig it. I think in some way I took. I'll take Toronto here. I think there's a chance that Boston ends up as our talent as their champion for the year. What do you think, Mitch?
Yeah, fine. It's another pre-team. Like, are you that surprised? Like, this keeps happening.
So
the more things change, the more they stay the same.
It's super bizarre though, because they beat the Justice, who we've seen be good, right? You know, like. And they beat them 3-0. Like, it wasn't like that game was close. And then they just turn around and lose to the Titans. So you don't know what to think there. If you throw that week out, right? They beat New York, London, and Vegas, right? So you really don't... jury's still kind of out. But I also would say, like, Toronto's in the same kind of boat. It's not like I'm... it's not like I'm just going to guzzle in maple syrup and become a Defiant fan. I'm still kind of like, mid on the Defiant.
Okay, that is fair. And I think that even though Jake was, makes a fair point and he says, look, the Valiant matchup for the Defiant was more about the Defiant than the Valiants, more about how they looked as an individual team. That's great. But it's very easy to look good when no one sort of puts any pressure on you, right? Or maybe you are less pressured than in other matchups. Those forced errors are less likely to come up. I'm happy for Johnny to appeal to the veterancy, to the legacy of these Boston Uprising players. I think that is fine, but Toronto really impresses. I think that Hydron is going to be a big deal. I want to see how they make use of Sam, especially on this control map. It's probably really the only map we get to see a ton of Sam on. Yeah. This guy's a scrim god. We know that for a fact, but how does it translate here up against a fearsome opponent like Boston?
If you can, if Boston, right, if you can, manage these personalities, get them on the same page, really kind of, get them to, coalesce. This team, roster-wise, is bonkers, right? It's just, can they make that happen? So, here at the start, be the Uprising running, dive-centric comp. Going up against the Defiant, who are actually going out. So they're going to be running the Junker Queen here with Salmon playing the Genji. So Genji Sojourn in terms of the damage dealers.
OG there got completely hamstrung by the two-piece that is Decay and Birdering. Hack the Lucio and then follow up with that extra damage. So keep an eye out for that duo, Decay and Birdering. Two players, by the way, in the past have been kind of forced to play pretty individualistically. Sometimes, looking to create value with solo pieces. Now coming together in many of these dives. Smurf on the Winston as well. Pretty hard to count him out. We'll see what Kalush can get done on this Junker Queen. Sam's sleeping right now. Hydron is dead. He got absolutely smashed there by Birdring, so keep an eye out for that. At least there was a trade and Smurf falls, but Boston have held the point for quite some time already.
Yeah, it is flipped though. So you do get a flip here for the Defiant as they'll be able to take control of the point even though they lose, a little bit of a trade here early on is just got to make sure you can keep OG alive. Gets really, wants to get aggressive, push in, try and get some kills, but first fight ended really fast because the Uprising were able to get him down pretty early.
All right, Ultraviolet playing from a safe spot. Suzu on OG, so they satisfy that condition you set forth, Matt, keeping OG alive at the start of the fight with that Decay Birdering combo comes in, but Hydron falls early again, this time without finding a kill on the exit. Not a great opener for Toronto, but they've been allowed to sneak back into the lead percentage-wise, and it's going to be Kitsune Rush for Ultraviolet, laying that one down and giving Sam the path to take Smurf down.
Oh, and I mean, you see Sam just going right on by with the Junker Queen in tow, and that can make really good use of the Kitsune Rush, right? You get the Junker Queen in the mix, same with the Genji, and the amount of damage both those heroes can put down pretty substantial. So we'll see now the Boston Uprising come back with another attack. You have a lot of good ultimates to use here, right? You have EMP potential, Nano to Smurf, right? Smurf, one of the best Winstons, just kind of all time. Ooh. Actually be Sam popping the Dragon Blade here, and he's able to get Twilight right away.
Translocate there from Birdring to try and get out of trouble. Soundberry attempted from both sides. I love the blade. The early blade is so sick.
Yeah, this is like relatively pretty good though for Toronto, right? That is, they use the blade and the beat. Obviously, you use the beat to kind of counter theirs, but they end up using the EMP for the Uprising. So now you're just staring down this like Nano Monkey combination with the Primal. But you have a Rampage. You should be able to deal with some of that. Overclock as well. Hydron should be able to just kind of like burn down the Winston pretty fast.
Kalush definitely thinking about how to line this one up as effectively as possible. Okay, Commanding shut off the point. Looks like a disengage here for the most part, but Sam's able to at least snatch up Twilight. Sammy's Scrimbucks turning up in this game, man, in a big way. And coming to the next fight, at least, Toronto will be holding onto their Junker Queen ult. They allow Boston to take the point.
Yeah, I don't think it was really disengaging because what they've been doing is like Kalush has been using the shout to get the speed of, a little bit of the help of the others, but and then kind of like follow Sam in with the Lucio on some of these like aggressive.
He like turned 180, so I wasn't sure like what he was looking
he turned to go into that back corner with Sam to maybe dive, but I think it was just so far and he knew he was going to be the only one there to have to like contest the point, so then kind of doubled back. Was not going to be able to make it there and then kind of like work his way back to the point. Would have given up a little bit earlier.
All right, chance for Hydron could become a factor here. Here's the overclock, getting dove on pretty much straight away. The Primal Rage from Smurf filling up that field of view of Hydron, allowing Decay to sneak in there and take the kill credit. This is obviously must-win fight for Boston Uprising, as they all will be for the rest of this round. Toronto got to that 99 here, and they're happy again to let Boston expend some ultimates. Kalush holds onto the Rampage still.
Yeah, there's not going to be like a great spot to use this Rampage, you think, right? It's not like the Boston Uprising are playing a comp that's a little bit slow, gonna like line up. I think maybe just try and connect with like a target or two, and then follow that up with the Genji. That's really kind of what you're looking for.
Yeah, it's pretty awkward against a hypermobile composition like the one Boston have brought to the fight. Maybe we're better served looking at this Kitsune rush that's coming out for Ultraviolet here. Sam also a blade could be a factor. Just the one kill on Twilight, that would be enough, I think, from a Dragon Blade. That would definitely seal the round. Nice little knife. That's what Junker Queen is so nasty against Winston. Smurf gets yoinked back to the point here. Toronto are going to look for a cap, holding this Junker Queen ult. If there's a group up for the Uprising, it'll be their folly. Kalush doesn't have to go anywhere. Dows with a bio nade, but that's going to be Suzu'd off instantly now. Kitsune rush on the point. Elite Gon has gone down. Kalush looking for a big swing on Birdring, who's able to pull the plug just in time. Now the Doomfist turns up. This is a great option for Kalush. Comes in with the Rampage, but Decay starting to lay waste to the back line of the Defiant. This has to be quick. Sam able to reciprocate in terms of DPS on support, violence, and the Doomfist will eventually succumb. OG, 2 final blows in that last fight. Toronto need to contend now with the stall efforts of Birdring. Lee Jae Gom with a solo sound barrier to try and stay alive as long as possible, but the Sombra's gone and the Uprising will be staggered. Toronto finish the job.
Yeah, some really nice Genji play from Sam. And being able to get big value out of those blades. Really like the Junker Queen there from Kalush, specifically against that Winston, right? You noted. Smurf gets in, tries to do some damage. Typically, you can just kind of get out of jail, just jump away, and you're totally fine. But that blade stuck in him, gets yoinked right back in, and nothing he could do there.
The Decay Tracer quietly, I can't believe I'm saying this about him, quietly accounting for half his team's final blows so far. Big factor in that last round. Love this. Come on back, Sonny. Into the corner too. And that's a guaranteed Carnage connection.
Interesting. So we're going to have Toronto Defiant coming out here playing that Reinhardt base composition. Johnny was kind of making a little bit of a joke about some of that Reinhardt play that we saw yesterday. But I think Reinhardt here with the Mei on this point specifically, Sim as well, it's always been relatively strong, which, like, how are you going to get value out of Decay playing the Echo here? I think that'll be pretty difficult. Also committing to it pretty hard, right? Running the Mercy as well.
Yeah, the Mercy. Really, we see just like, solo agent echoes much of the time. Okay, who's the target? I'm not even sure who the target is really for Decay here. Regardless, Sam gets picked off. He was hacked by the looks of things. Tough one for Mei, a very high value kill to take at the start of this engagement here. Decay is able to line him up there. Immortality field for Ultraviolet gets picked off, and yeah, he's able to find himself 3 kills here. And it all starts with Sam getting plucked away early.
Yeah, they were just like above the supports and just putting damage down onto Sam. There's nothing really Hydron can do from that position as well. So some changes all across the board here for the Defiant as Kalush will go over to Diva. So D.Va, Sombra, Tracer going to put lots of pressure onto Decay up in the sky, and also should make it very difficult for Lee Jae-gon.
Hack on OG as he emerges from the Defiant side of the map. Straight to the point, that's where the Defiant want to be. They try and take the fight here. Decay, hacked, eventually able to be brought down. Sam benefiting from the damage boost on hacked targets. Even with Lee Jae-gon pocketing, that's 2 in a row for Sam. Beautiful stuff, he's able to translocate away. Hydron sneaks in there, gets rid of Twilight. Defiant are back in business here. This switch to the Sombra Tracer start to yield some real results, and Sam looking to dab hand on the Sombra.
It's just like that. Defiant, they switch up their comp, and they come right in. They're able to flip the point, relative ease. So Lee Jae-gon goes over to the Brig, but they're going to keep Decay onto the Echo. I wonder if you're just kind of like playing for the duplicate here. I also question like how strong the duplicate actually is at this point, right?
Maybe dupe a Sombra, the hack could be crucial.
Yeah.
EMP, that's a good one. Decay focusing beam, finds purchase on OG, but Hydron's double pulse, that's a backline down to just the one player. That is some scary stuff. Normally someone we're heralding about being a hit scan god, but the Tracer looks absolutely filthy there. I see a dupe with the D.Va for Decay. You talked about value, not a lot accrued there, I think it's safe to say. K knocked out of the mech, won't have a chance to get back in. Duplicate now expired, Kaluge runs him down.
Man, when it looked like it was going to be a great fight for the Boston Uprising, let's take a look from Hydron's POV. It's going to be a pulse bomb here. It's gunning on a Bosa.
No!
Wait,
oh, the setup from Kaluge, man! That's stunning.
Yeah, the pulse bomb's
Hard to
typically when you see a double kill like that, right? It's the pulse bomb stuck to one of the supports. Somebody kind of like runs into somebody else or something like that.
Yeah, I'm giving Kaluge still credit for that one, my guy. Yeah,
he got missed. I don't think he gets the whole credit, but
well, he knocked him into the bomb. I'm just saying, the sports could have just walked away and got on with their lives, but no, Kaluge was there. Awesome, back into the radius. All right, Twilight's down here, so Boston, yeah, they may have flipped the point, but it's not a great start to the fight for them at all, especially now they're contending with a sound barrier, and Narana went down with Nano in the back pocket. Not a great look, and here's where things start to get a little messy. We've got IMAX mode for a time. Lee Jae-gon eventually going to get taken down. The rally no longer sheltering the Boston Uprising from the carnage that is to come. Translocate out by Birdring. Smurf got the Nano as Twilight came off the spawn, but there's a flip back of the point here. And the Uprising have to full commit to keeping alive in the round. Twilight again killed coming off spawn.
This is looking pretty good here for the Defiant. That's going to be a hack on the Smurf. Lee Jae-gon just trying to stay alive on the opposite side of the point. He will fall as well. Birdring comes in with an EMP, but it's just a little bit of a sad one at the end, as that'll be the Defiant taking map number 1.
We see the Uprising try and come at this round from a couple of different axes, right? They bring in a pocketed Echo, no less, eventually switching off to the Brig, but the Toronto Defiant, yeah, it's a slower start for them, but as soon as they start to get back in the game, it's Sam that appears on the Sombra, finding 2 quick kills on Village, and all of a sudden it's all about the 6. This first round, though, nice to see again, as I called him, Sammy Scrimbucks take some of the notoriety offline into an Overwatch League game. I mean, was forced to stand in proper shadow for a whole year. Great to see him basking in the sun now.
I mean, Toronto plays like that. I mean, they beat a lot of teams. Oh, yeah. they looked really strong here. And map number 1 is, I think you saw good things from Sam. I mentioned it the other day when we were talking about the Defiant cast one of their games. Man, I love to watch Hydron play. I feel like he always makes an impact on the game. It's right here. So let's take a look. So the pulse bomb's going in. I actually think it's just Kaluge going for the kill there onto the Ana and like knocking the Brig's obviously going to help the Ana on the backside and just knocking them in. But
never
really
let the truth get in the way of a good narrative, Matthew. My goodness. Map number 1, the Toronto Defiant. Strong showing for them here. Let's see what
Mitch just making up narratives again. Unbelievable.
Me when I spread misinformation on the internet. Stick around. Map number 2. Hey, it's just around the corner. Kings Row once more. Let's see how Boston bounce back after a bit of a sloppy jalopy start. We've been blessed with some pretty significantly special support play today so far. Look at the Houston Outlaws matchup coming to this one. The Toronto Defiant Battle Line look great. You know, I'm getting like, I don't know, Five King vibes. You know what I mean? You know the vibes. The real legacy, the echoes of support greatness coming through the halls right now. And again, very important role, of course, in the Overwatch League. You can get your hands on some of these support partners because they're obviously the most important role in the whole game in general. Team skins for Lifeweaver, Lucio Brigitte, and a weapon charm rather, just for 350 league tokens. June 13, that's when they're available until complete your collection of Overwatch team support skins. What are you
your teammates with Lifeweaver in style. Don't just grip them in with the normal skin. Grip them in with an owl skin.
Yeah, as opposed to, you know, not killing them in style of Lifeweaver. I feel like if you're killing people on Lifeweaver, if you're healing your team on Lifeweaver, you're already a bit stylish, you're already a little bit off the wall, a bit avant-garde, so to speak. So why not jazz it up a little bit? Kings Row coming up next here, Matt. And hey, we get the same brand of very scrappy Boston Uprising that we've been treated to for much of this season. It doesn't hold a candle to the very solid sort of, I guess, coordinated play that we're getting for the Toronto Defiant. They're on Nepal. And like Johnny said, it's a great map for Toronto. He expected them to be, you know, be in a good spot there. He still predated Boston, so he must have some thoughts about the rest of this pool.
Yeah, potentially.
Or he's just being a heel for the hell of it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
we haven't had a true heel since 2019. So
the turtleneck's got him, you know, just in some anime villain arc, right? You have Speedily come in here for the Defiant. Actually, they leave Sam in, so that's actually something of a note where typically, you know, we've seen like Speedily, well, Hydron and Speedily really kind of like in most of the time. This time, they're making some moves. Sam's Hanzo, very strong. So maybe we see Sam on the Hanzo here on offense.
Well, let's not forget who was playing Hanzo for the Defiant yesterday. It was actually Hydron. Had some really nasty clips as well, especially on that Rialto game. Think of the mid-air sort of 1 versus 2. Sam, again, Sam is known as a really prolific Hanzo player. Yeah, like alongside I think like the Echo and the Genji as well. This was something that when he did get subbed into play for San Francisco, it was like really early on in the season actually. Genji the Hanzo super clean, so high expectations here. I've heard that Sam has done some illegal things to opponents in scrims on this Hanzo, so now my appetite is prepared.
And just sees one player directly underneath him. Putting some nice shots into the back there. Smurf is collusion, a really rough spy. Yeah, stuck in between the tank and the supports. It'll be Lee J Gaunt on the brig here on defense. Just kind of playing around Twilight.
Keeping tracks on Decay there. That's Sonic.
Oh, they got a bio on the Smurf.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Smurf trying to be pretty safe there, I guess, as he transitions between the low and high ground. Tries to jump back with that bubble, and yeah, they're still able to find a bio. However, Kaluj goes a little bit too far, maybe with the lack of extra healing as Ultraviolet got picked off, found himself a little bit out of his depth there. And Sam wasn't able to really find any huge sort of damage or put any real threat on the Uprising from that position.
Yes, so you do get a tick here for the Defiant, but Smurf has to be careful. It gets quite low again, has to back up towards that high ground. Is Speedily putting pressure on the point, seeing if there's a support up top that he can make a play for. As Pulse Bomb goes down, but Lee J Gaunt's in a lot of trouble.
There it is. Sam eventually finds Smurf. So there's that pressure we were looking for. He starts off the fight by getting Smurf down to half, forcing Smurf to hide inside the statue. That really turns tempo in favor of the Defiant, and it actually creates a space for Speedily to play on the point like that and snap up Lee J Gaunt the moment he drops down. Nice work by the DPS here for Toronto. Good setup.
A pretty fast take. You know, everything all in, right? You get that, you know, first tick on the first push. Next one just come right back, get a kill onto the brig, and just steamroll the point after that. So a little bit above 4 minutes here. Unlocks as the payload starts moving. If they get a little bit closer to it, yeah, there you go. There's you'll have a primal here in the streets phase to use, and no EMP. So no like a, you know, EMP typically like a big fight winning, you know, ultimate. You can just invest EMP, typically be pretty good. Nothing like that for the Defiant.
For the Uprising, though, they got one of those, and they make use of it. It's going to be OG getting manoed here, as they probably fear that he's the first target after the EMP. It was actually Speedily falling first, though. Lee J Gaunt was able to get the rally up here, but was under a lot of pressure midway through the fight. A Dragon Strike claims the brig. And Decay now trying to get around the shield of OGs. Eventually, he will prevail. And Smurf's Primal Rage is going to be very, very difficult for the Defiant to play around. They're so grouped up. Love what Kalush has been able to do there, find those 2 kills, but unclear if he's going to have enough. Speedling off the respawn is a good omen, though.
Yeah, I mean, what? You don't have any support Speedly off the respawn, so Kalush probably can't go in right away, but you're still going to get car progress out of this, which now players coming back here for the Uprising. You really want Twilight back in to be able to get that nano boost maybe on the Smurf and make a play for the backline, but it's going to take a while for him to get back in.
If they're tracking a pulse bomb, it also might be for Lee Jae-gon if he gets stuck. We'll see what happens where Speedly's looking for there.
Chunk of damage there, almost died at the recall.
Yeah, got shield bash and a couple other things, I think. Lee Jae-gon looking right at him. Okay, so Smurf gets the nano here. In he goes to the back line. Sam Ochi can't get away. Yeah, eventually going to get caught. Sleep Dart comes in too late, and insult to injury. Smurf is woken up just to get another frag. Just the breakfast that he was looking for.
Yeah, and I don't think you could have done anything really there if you're the Defiant, right? If Smurf gets in your back line with that nano boost in the streets phase here, where everybody has to clump up play together, he's going to be able to find a kill or 2, right? So, just going to chalk that one up as an L for Toronto. Come back. Yet another fight here is it'll be Decay with a pulse bomb lurking on the side. Trying to see if he can line one up.
2 minutes down for Toronto on this phase of the map here. So actually a pretty significant loss of time.
They're lucky in that first fight that didn't really look like entirely go their way. They were able to still make some payload progress, or else the payload would be pretty much back by the choke.
Yeah, that's a good point. They really haven't won a fight in this part of the map yet.
No.
Birdring getting Sam early. Decay now just going to have to jockey back a little bit to see how that went down later. Kalush is going to have a primal in this fight. There's also a nano that Ultraviolet's been working with here. Speedly still sat on this pulse bomb. Here comes an EMP. You'd have to imagine OG would be getting pressure down. Ultraviolet, okay. Birdring EMPs here, he can only hit Ultraviolet. Probably not worth it. He'll have to get a full clip connecting onto the Ana to secure the kill, so he's thinking about somewhere else.
I think he's thinking about going with the EMP here, but he has to know that he's got the Ultraviolet has that nano, but they're going to use the nano for the break. I thought, oh, they're going to actually nano and send Kalush on in, and he gets hacked and slept instantly.
I mean, you're dealing with Twilight here, right? This isn't some run-of-the-mill garden variety Ana. This is the Ana. And yeah, Decay, 3rd kill of the fight for him. He's actually already marking Speedily as the EMP comes down. So Decay's making sure he has eyes on the Tracer so he can just finish them off. It's pretty easy to underestimate the damage component of EMP now. Like, that used to be there. You take a ton of damage straight off the rip, and so for Decay, it's so easy to burn Speedily down. That Pulse Bomb still hasn't been deployed by the Toronto Tracer.
Yeah, I actually thought when that EMP comes down from Birdring, like Ultraviolet's playing around the corner because they could have nanoed OG and then pop Rally, right? Yeah. Like that's typically what we've seen teams do in response, right? Because you know that push is going to come through once that EMP comes down. So you could have just, nano the Brig, which makes Brig a huge offensive force. A nice stick there, but Lee Jae-gon gets the benefits of the nano to stay alive. And then have OG pop Rally at that moment. That was you could have fought back.
So that plays out how we kind of think it would, except 2 minutes later, the nano held on to keep Lee Jae-gon standing. Sam has an EMP here. It said better be good. There's 18 seconds left in the round. Who are we eyeing off here? Smurf. He's already in the air at the time, though, so he actually gets to safety as the EMP comes in. That is not a good EMP for Toronto. It's not going to help them at all in this fight.
No, not entirely the right target, but they actually get Birdring, so maybe this is actually doable. The primal from Smurf, nice sleep there by Ultraviolet to take him out of this fight for a bit of time.
Decay's got more work to do, though. Speedily might be down, so there's no one to mark him, but he has to play more aggressively here. The Brig, a little bit scary for him, I'm sure, and Ultraviolet's pretty close to having a nano here. Kalush trying to create some space desperately here. Rally is in play for Lee Jae-gon. Kalush with a biotic grenade, but gets a nano boost to work with. Force back again, hard for him to find any damage as the Uprising are so durable in the aftermath of that rally. Eventually, OG's going to serve himself up, get taken down. Kalush, yep, Birdring, good job completing that kill, securing, confirming it. And the Toronto Defiant will be stopped outside the Foundry.
Yeah, it's just that damage that comes through from the EMP at the end. Like you mentioned, it's a little bit underrated, right? We kind of think of EMP as you pop it, you kind of take people's abilities offline for an extended period of time, but not the way it works, obviously, here in Overwatch 2, where that big chunk of damage at the beginning it's just a huge you can't really heal it up that fast or even come close to you, right? It's just a huge aid in being able to just blow some of these targets up.
Yeah, and that's why we see teams committing so much to keeping their Brig player alive, right? Post EMP. Throwing an Nano there, obviously, in the past might have seemed like a pretty ridiculous prospect, but the durability, the survivability, in the face of this sort of wombo combo element, I guess, that Sombra can sort of impose, that's really important. Sam, again, look, you know, in EMP that doesn't look great, but it's more because Smurf was already in midair. Like, there's not really much you can do about it. Sam was hoping to catch the Winston. You understand why. Smurf, I mean, very fortunate, able to be seated up on the high ground after the EMP came in. If he gets picked off there, yeah, the fight looks completely different because I'm pretty sure Ultraviolet dies soon after from a counter dive. Toronto had the right idea. The execution, though, didn't quite match up.
Yeah, and it's interesting that they kind of have speedily come in, maybe like play like Tracer 24/7, right? That's kind of the idea here for the Defiant, and then Sam can be the one that rotates between the Hanzo and Sombra specifically. If they want like a Genji option, maybe that's where Sam stays in, and if they're going to kind of play more than just Tracer, maybe that's when you have Hydron come in the game at this moment.
Becoming pretty abundant that having a strong Sombra option is a must if you want your team to be an impact force in the mid-season madness. So Ultraviolet has to be careful here. Again, this sight line can be cut off pretty easily by Smurf. He's going to rotate here as well, take a bit more of an off angle now as he gets tickled. All right, Decay takes a random hit coming through. That could have been very dangerous. I like the idea from Ultraviolet, but he exposes himself to find the bio, and it will eventually be punished by Twilight. UV not really sure what happened there. I don't blame the guy.
I think he was just
drawing blood.
I mean, he just knew he wasn't going to be able to make it towards that health pack. He got the sleep. He was tons of damage coming down. Couldn't use the nade, and not able to make it towards that health pack. So wasn't able to make a play there. As looks like Smurf just wants to get topped up. Goes back. The rest of his team is. Actually, they know that.
This out.
Know that Sam is lurking here.
Oh, Sam has a health pack here, so this is far from done. Smurf is very low. Headshot or two. The job is done. Look at him calling that out. He's like, yeah, okay. Got rid of the Winston here. Now I can work this off angle, start the pressure. Health pack will be up soon enough. He's waiting for that, of course, to get out.
Turn around. Yeah, I mean, that is a very risky play, but also in the situation that they were in. I mean, that is a, fight-winning play, and also they don't even get a tick on the point. Like they don't have any progress on the point. So right away, the Boston Uprising, they get both supports down, and they're not able to get a percentage on the point. Where Sam is in a really awkward position. It makes a big play. They give up.
The sideline is weird.
Yeah.
Ultraviolet can't see anything from here. It is awkward for Ana on this point, trying to find a good spot to be. Dive down OG. Not much you can do there. About trading out. Primal Rage up here for Kalush with the bio, but he's not going to be bothered about that. Needs his backline pressure and transitioning into the Primal here. Knocking Lee Jae forward. He's going to force out the rally.
Yeah, and I think as soon as he heard the hack noise start to come in, he had to pop the Primal, right? Maybe would want to hold on to it a little bit longer, but there goes the rally. Can you come in and fight this here? It's actually going to be an EMP from Bird Ring, so I don't think you're going to be able to make... Ooh, well, off this pick on Decay. Maybe you're actually able to make it back to the point here.
Smurf couldn't follow up on the dive. He was capturing the point in fairness, but there was a Dragon Strike in play. Coming back with a Primal after, though, let's not forget who we're dealing with. That's Mr. Smurf to you. Thank you very much. In with a Primal, 2 quick kills, and despite Sam's best efforts to even the ledger in that fight, Boston will have what they came for.
Yeah, for a second I was like, oh, maybe they consider, like, if they're able to stay alive a little bit longer, maybe they're able to pop that rally and move on in, but they were all, like, pretty weak, and there's obviously no kind of big healing available there with just the Brig, right? Can only just kind of give out so many armor packs, heal people up over time, nothing for OG to attack, so no opportunity to get everybody healed up and back in the fight rather quickly, but Smurf takes a big chunk of damage. They're not able to finish it off, so he'll be able to make it out with his life. Boston's like 2 fights away here from taking map number 2.
Yeah, so was Toronto, though, and it took, 4.5 minutes, to be fair. Very fun defense for Toronto. The sheer audacity of Sam 1v1ing Smurf. I probably won't forget that real soon. It's fun to watch. Toronto starting to show a little bit of flair, where in past years they were just kind of known for being mid here, so that's a fun look. Speedily is well and truly in the middle of the fighting here. Maybe hoping Smurf could back up a little bit more. It's an easy stick target, but he knew he wouldn't be able to secure the kill with the Pulse Bomb alone. So he's going to wait a little bit here. The Uprising, though, are going to use this opportunity to build up some of these ultimates. You want to see Toronto commit soon.
Yeah, well, Boston also doesn't really have any ultimates either, Mitch. They had to use everything to take checkpoint A, and the Nano here on a Kalush it would be huge if you could just win the fight off of this here for the Defiant. You can start to build up a war chest of ultimates. This is actually going to be the
Did
rally.
Cluj just jump over that sleep dart?
And Legion ends up popping the rally inside of that room.
Kalush just runs face first into Twilight, and almost instinctively by the looks, he jumps. Now, he jumps inside a low room, so he doesn't really get that much air, but I swear I heard the sleep dart from Twilight, so if he'd avoided that, that is, I mean, that's extra
We'd have to see it from, like, from Twilight's POV, but that would be a pretty nutty play if that's true.
Oof, man. How to outplay someone who hits every sleep.
Dragon from behind.
Do something
here.
they've never seen before. Dragon from behind could be potentially devastating here. The EMP, yo, it's Sam, baby. He is home. Have a look at that. Twilight and Lee Jae gone, can't escape. And the Uprising, they're in a position of power there, Matt. EMP gets a good connection at the start of that fight, but no one expects the Dragon chomping at their buttocks.
They use that EMP, plus they use the Nano as well. So that's pretty brutal. They're going to get a little bit of payload progress for this, just because a few players died on the Defiant, but Defiant should be able to come back and take a little bit of a neutral fight, build up a Nano of their own, and send Kaluj on in.
Next level flanks from Sam. Something special. We're getting treated to this game. Will it be enough? 1 minute, 10 seconds left. Here comes Smurf, doused instantly by the biotic fluid, and Sam finds Twilight again in the kill feed for the right reasons, but on the left side.
He's always in these like off angles, right? And he gets one, then you see Smurf try and make a play for him, and he's already out before he can get caught. So Sam has had some really nice angles here on the Hanzo. Just really kind of ends that before it even starts. This allows Ultraviolet to build up that Nano that I was talking about and hold on to it. You don't need it for the next fight, so... See, there's a lot of different angles that Sam can take here. Has that Sonic Arrow, can maybe kind of work his way to the high ground a little bit on a flank. Is 2 quick shots and a Smurf gotta wait.
Yeah, he looks pretty natural. He's looking very comfortable with those shots. Smurf, though, had the primal, takes to the skies. Defensive biotic grenade, I think, was attempted to be used there at the very least. But Sam gets crunched. Next target appears to be OG, and oh my goodness, the mechanics of Smurf. It's something to behold, everybody. But it's going to be a Nano for Kaluj, going to build into his primal as well. Ultraviolet staying alive long enough under the scrutiny of Winston. Kaluj just sits back here, bide their time, make it one last fight. The Defiant are in this. They've got a Dragon Strike as well.
They're going to have a Dragon Strike. They're going to have their own primal and a rally here, most likely, as OG should be able to build up to this rather quickly, as it's going to be Lee Jae gone with the rally on the side of the Uprising, and he just uses it.
Here it comes, the Dragon. It's going to be avoided for the most part, but Decay can't get away from Speedily. That is a huge 1 versus 1 win. The Toronto Defiant hoping that'll propel them into another map win here. Rally about to expire for Lee Jae gone, but he got the Nano Boost yet again. EMP hits, biotic grenade on OG, man. There was nothing he could do about it. Now what do the Defiant have left? Sam, the old-fashioned way, finds Birdring, logs him through the face. Whip shot from Lee Jae gone doesn't connect so speedily, has some time to get top back up. Getting the Tracer back in the fight is going to be very important now as OG switches over to Lucio to return quickly. It's the legs to Birdring. He's on the Soldier trying to get back into the fight as quickly as he can. Speedily is slept, flanked by opponents. Now the Nano going over to Kaluj now, and he's going to pressure Twilight down. Nothing even a superstar like Twilight can do, but not before he gets a kill of his own. 3 players left for the Defiant. Kaluj trying to stand up, but there'll be no primal, no chance to hold on. Ultraviolet taken down, and Smurf the Menace yet again. He'll secure the map win for Boston. It's a scrappy affair, and we've got a tied series.
I mean, it is not pretty there for either team there at the end. It is really just kind of like, down and dirty brawl, but they're never able to deal with Smurf. He's able to just kind of separate the supports out and get a Nano and then a primal there at the end to seal the deal. Is at Boston, they take map number 2 in a pretty wild fashion, I would say.
And the Winston play, that was special from Smurf. Sam with some great moments, ending with 11 final blows. Smurf was 10 and 4. The primal rage mechanics. Do not forget about Smurf. Doesn't matter what team he's on. He is a high-impact individual. Decay, of course, chiming in with a 12 final blow record here. This was an incredible Dragon Strike. Just the setup here. And, I don't know, the stones to go for that kind of flank Hanzo play, it's pretty legendary.
Yeah, I mean, I think Sam had a really strong map on the Hanzo. Time and time again, getting these off angles, making it very difficult and uncomfy for Boston to get set up at all.
Balance in all things, red versus blue goes 1 apiece for the time being. Rialto coming up next in the series here. Time to see if that scrappy brand of play the Uprising have can get them another map win. No shortage of excitement in the Boston Uprising camp after a crucial first map win for them in this series is taken on Kings Row. So much so that even players not involved in the game were feeling it. As I believe Kalios spilled his entire drink, getting excited for the rest of his teammates here. That's why he is set up.
Yeah, he's going to be in the next game, so may impact it. But you got Hydra coming back in here for Sam. We'll see when Kalios returns to his PC here. Not the craziest thing that happened this week. Did you see Sauna of Florida?
You mean when he kind of flushed his salad down the toilet?
Yeah, flushing salad down the toilet. I don't get that. That's a little bit weird.
Bro, just throw it out.
Kalios gets a little excited, spills his drink, washes his hands, get right back on his PC. Nothing weird here.
Hey, listen, you can't have that Baja Blast ruin your APM, you know what I mean?
Salad down the toilet, something I gotta... Evidently, it is not uncommon in Europe.
What you mean? What, to put food down the toilet?
Yeah, look, I'm not defending Sauna here, but I have no horseless race of whether salad should go down the toilet or not. But
if I flush, I mean, I live in Germany, so this is very different. But if I flush salad down my toilet, they would have called the police. I would have been arrested. They have a group of people called the Ordnungsamt, which are like people that keep the peace. They would have been on me. I would have been deported instantly.
I don't know what someone's talking about. Just finish that. Caesar salad's pretty good.
That's kind of fire, bro. Listen, it's okay in the fridge for a hot minute as well. You can do that. My goodness. All right.
Got a little bit of a
bird ring.
Pause here.
Yeah, it's like a domino effect. Kalios' drink knocked into bird rings. Albeit it took a few minutes as it toppled, it wobbled back and forth from the table. Eventually gravity took its toll. Now bird ring, we've lost him. Off to the John.
There's a little tactical timeout here for the Uprising. Make the Defiant kind of think about that loss a little bit more, you know? Stew on it a little bit.
DJ Gon pondering the value of lavatories as trash disposal media. Perhaps he's got to, do some spring cleaning at some point. If you run out of trash bags, hey, think about it. You got a toilet right there. Goodness, I mean, I guess people do it on planes sometimes.
Yeah, I think it's just a little bit of a PC issue we're waiting for here. So, once we kind of get that sorted with the Uprising, I believe, we'll be able to jump right back into it. But that second map was just down to the wire. It'll be interesting to see how they play with Hydra and Speedily in. I assume that's probably because you still want the Tracer, but you probably want some Widowmaker presence here for the Defiant. So that's probably what you're expecting here from Toronto, some kind of Widowmaker based setup.
Yeah, we did see Hanzo from Hydra on this map. Remember, both of them, right? Widow and Hanzo. Let's talk about Decay here, quietly. Again, we say quietly because we're very used to seeing him in the kill feed here, but his trace over the last two maps, he's obviously topped the final blow count for his team on both occasions. This is Kings Row, 12-3. So again, 3 deaths. That's pretty scary. I mean, you can work out the deaths per 10. That's like 1.5 or whatever. It's low. Very, very impactful. We saw his Echo, I think, on Village, which ended up looking pretty good. I mean, it went south after this, in fairness. But Decay showing us a little bit more of that playbook. The trace of those definitely where he's looked best.
I mean, there's never a question of can he play all these heroes, at what type of level, right? Like, we know how good he is. It's just maybe you've kind of been questioning some of the teams he's been on in the past, right? Like, they don't have everything all there. This team has everything though. I mean, a DPS running mate like Birdring, right? You got Smurf, Legion got Twilight, Kalios is very proficient in some of those off tanks. They kind of feel like they have all the pieces where if this was a team, if Decay is the type of player that can kind of lead a team, elevate the team and take them to that next level, this is the type of team, that you could do it with.
That's it. I mean, Decay already putting on a bit of a clinic so far. Definitely expect to see him in the highlight reel. We've got one for week 3, though. So while we wait for Boston to sort themselves out, let's take a fond look back over our biggest plays from week 3 of the Overwatch League here in the West.
I don't even know how he got a 5K.
Don't worry. 5K for Lit, maybe?
They're learning.
Got 4. He's got 5.
They're learning, Jack.
Lit with a 5K.
Space for Proper to do things like this. Goes aggressive with the rail.
Oh,
there's a 2 for
2 for 1, buy 1 get 1 free. Yeah, I mean, look, just look at where he is playing from. It's how he's gonna get the primal going. Dude, he is just insane. I mean, like, he's juggling Lip all the way back. Building up these AM matrices so fast, it contributing pretty well in terms of kills. I think it's been a really good day for the backline.
Oh,
that's
my
huge.
goodness, straight down the tube. Someone gives him nowhere to go.
Yeah, that looks like something they would clip for like the the hero release trailer to show off a cool move you could pull off. And here, so you're not even really building up towards any of those big ultimates. You lose proper.
Oh, Alphagee's playing with his food. My goodness, composing another with alphabet spaghetti. That's the level of play we're talking about here, but he got the kill eventually. Max able to find two, but again, hey, I've been saying this a few times, it don't cut it. What is going on with San Francisco? The Justas are bending them backwards.
Sombra tracing.
Valiant,
What just happened? What just happened? Lit!
losing his learning, Jack. Losing his learning.
Lit,
Don't worry.
5k for Lit, maybe?
They're
He's
learning.
Got 4. He's got 5.
They're learning, Jack.
Lit
That's...
with a 5k.
I don't even know how he got a 5k.
Good news, ladies and gentlemen. Birdering has figured out how to responsibly dispose of his Caesar salad. And the Toronto Defiant, we're going to expect to see them and the Uprising hit the field in just a moment. We have bums in seats. That's a good sign.
Yeah, Birdering was spotted in the bathroom just dumping food in the toilet, and they had to rip him off. No, there was a PC issue. No.
This is America. Okay, can't do that.
No,
not in my God-fearing country.
Just dumping his food down the toilet. No, just a PC issue. So now we'll get this game of Rialto underway.
I'm pretty sure this country considers that any disposal of ranch dressing a war crime. That's what I've heard about you guys.
Oh.
Yeah,
Could
y'all
be
love
true.
that stuff.
You know, wings, ranch pretty good. Ranch pretty good.
Okay, Toronto. Going to start here with the Widowmakers. So
It wouldn't be top tier in
alluded
terms of dressings. Now that I'm thinking about it.
no,
but
I
it's
don't
all
think
right.
it's that great. I don't know. It's extremely white. I don't know. It just doesn't do it for me. I don't know. Aussies
Just
not
very
really
thick for a dressing, you know.
Yeah, it's white. And I ain't about it. I just thinking about it. I'm not gonna retch on.
Widowmaker on defense here, though. We were talking. Maybe we see some Widow. Maybe we see some Hanzo. It'll be
Now that's
Hydron on the
spicy
Widow
of the
here.
branch.
I would love to see like a little bit of a classic, kind of get Birdring on the Widowmaker as well. A little bit of a throwback, Birdring versus Hydron. Seeing Birdring take that duel, but Birdring will be on the Sombra here. Kick things off as they want to get pretty aggressive with a dive. It's just whether they can access some of these players.
Birdring got revealed there for a brief moment as Speedily breezed past him. So taking a little bit more of a circuitous route here. Always love these things. Oi, okay. Good pressure on Kalios here, but Hydro knows. He's like, man, it's been too quiet for the last few moments. Birdring somehow able to neo those bullets. It's been spotted now. Drops down onto the health pack. There's a health pack there, by the way. I don't know if you knew that.
I'm surprised Hydron turned the corner and tried to chase him after that, right? Just putting a ton of pressure on him with the SMG is...
That could have been something. He lined that up. That was a little uncanny.
He's got to feel really good about the support play that he's going to have to back him up, right? To take some of these duels. He's got both supports up here on the high ground, but a lot of trust. That time, though, gets taken out. Yeah,
well, I guess he doesn't expect Decay to make his appearance, right? Mostly he's just tangling with Birdring. So the Defiant, they sort of lose again, like, the strongest weapon in this fight. Speedly's built up a pulse bomb here. He's been getting his hands dirty in quite a big way here. But if you look at the Boston Uprising's health bars, there's just not a lot of pressure on them wholesale at the moment. The cart movement's been pretty slow, with many elements of Boston sort of surging ahead, trying to set up staging ground here, getting Birdring entrenched in the back line. He again is going to continue to pester Hydron. Oh,
yeah,
don't do it to him.
Starts shooting at him from ages away. I think he's just trying to be annoying, right? That's going to be a nano on the Kalios in the front side. As he is able to pick up both supports in Hydron up top, that should unlock this first checkpoint.
I mean, what more can you ask for from your Sombra in terms of, you don't have any MP,
Just
how do you make
annoying,
yourself useful? Yep. Hydron, as good as he is, we've seen him stave off like Sombras that have pressured him before. That Junkertown clip is one to remember. But he's Kalios. He realizes what's happening, I think, across the map here. Look at this transition. First, get rid of the go to the back line and then hello, I can get involved here.
Yeah, I mean, also the nano just so strong, right? No, Kaluj not able to get a nano and make a play. For the Uprising backline, just kind of has to stand on the payload just to keep it contested so it doesn't take checkpoint right away. And Kalios does not care about it. Gets the effect of the nano, runs right in, and Boston's got 4 ultimates here to keep this rolling.
I mean, that speaks volumes, right? Toronto couldn't pressure them at all on that first point. It was all about Hydron, and he couldn't find any opportunities, any real sightlines. Also, Speedily and Hydron couldn't be in sync because Hydron was busy tangling with a Sombra Tracer duo a lot of the time. This is very good for Boston. Fundamentally, this is excellent play from them. They're really doing what their comp is supposed to do. Here's an EMP. Yeah, Lee Jagon wanting to pressure forward. OG was definitely feeling it there. He's able to turn it back around though. Nano Boost goes a long way for Brig, especially in Rally. Beam me up, Scotty, says Kaluj. He's in trouble.
And I'm surprised we haven't seen the Defiant kind of go towards that more, as Kaluj using his self-destruct as a little bit of cover there so he can get right back in. Where, yeah, we talked about that on an earlier map, right? Where they weren't using the nano onto the Brig. I know in certain situations where it could have been advantageous. Right there, the EMP comes in, they do get the nano onto the Brig, and you see it's able to stabilize the rest of the team.
I love the Kaluj Diva map. Something we saw a lot from San Francisco on maps like Eichenwald last season. Look really good, slower play, but Kaluj really well suited for this, balanced approach between offense and peel. See, he and Kalios just trying to keep track of each other, but Kaluj is not allowing the Uprising to control that high ground. Is an EMP just for one player, but I love that defense matrix from Kalios. I mean, Kaluj may have met his match in terms of Diva Dynamos. Both these guys are teched for the mirror.
Yeah, and this will be a nano here, given on a decay is a lot of faith here to see if he can get in there and pick up a kill, but right in the case, Twilight at range, able to take out speedily. I gotta see that. I mean, you typically don't see the Ana being able to kind of like just 2-tap a Tracer, but fantastic shots there from Twilight, evidently being able to just take out the Tracer, the Defiant. But oh wait, they just nanoed OG right there.
Yeah,
and he just gets insta-killed. So there's your nano out the window.
Man, that's a ridiculous amount of damage. Like, how do you blow up a Brig that's nanoed like that? Last time OG got a nano, he was raid boss and, was able to kill 2 people on his own, essentially. Boston now, this is great time, 3 minutes 20 on the clock. Let's see how this went down.
Yeah, so this is, they nano decay. Just a peek through the window there.
Man, just line up perfectly, really, for Twilight. Don't think he was expecting to see Speedily materialize before him, but he took his shot.
I think Toronto's got to take a fight fast, because if you just allow them to like walk through this double doors, you're allowing them to get like a sick EMP off in the rally.
Their ultimate economy is made like salad and turned up in the toilet, mate. They having to switch all these heroes right so frequently. Kaluj switching twice, Hydron having to switch twice. No ults for them. Speedily loses his pulse bomb, the only ult that Toronto are really actually able to develop out alongside the rally, and even that's not enough to keep Kaluj alive. This is reckless, this is aggressive, this is the Boston Uprising taking it up a notch. The self-destruct even claiming Hydron, and 2:33 on the clock is a statement attacking round for the boys in blue.
That was a beatdown by the Boston Uprising right there. I mean, that was just... you're relying on that Widow, like we talked a little bit about early on, to get some of those picks to stall out that offense. When it doesn't happen, Boston actually just takes really good ultimate economy, like pretty much throughout the entire rest of the map, where I think the Defiant needed to take a fight way earlier there. They ended up kind of allowing the cart to move in right towards that end of the map, and just there's no way you were going to have bad ultimate usage out of the Uprising men, and they just kind of wiped the floor at them. Man, a lot of pressure. I've used that word very frequently on this broadcast because it speaks to that relentless play style that the Boston Uprising tend to provide. What's kind of crazy is that, looking at the numbers, Kalios has obviously not died, nor is Decay. Lee Jagon is 5-1 right now. Toronto Defiant, that is it felt like a fairly long half, but they got 1 kill. 1. And that was OG when he got nanoed in rally. That is it. So Toronto basically got beat back the entire length of the map relentlessly by Boston, making a lot of switches to their compositions, trying to find the right fit, but never building momentum, always just being under pressure and panicking almost. Yeah, and how do you set a better time than that? It does look like Boston's going to get into that game with the Widow, right? Where you can kind of keep rolling this composition throughout the rest of the map. It'll be mirror matchup here for the Defiant on their offense.
The last time we saw a team do this, I want to say like 2019 stage final, San Francisco, Vancouver, where both teams were able to sort of finish them out with time.
Yeah.
It's just not, you don't, I mean, okay, it's probably happened since then. All right, guys, thank you, but probably not not often. But, and especially when we see, like, there's definitely a comfort gap between these teams on this map so far. Unlikely the Defiant could match this. Let's see, though. Hydron, swimming in the purple juice. Not too bothered about it right now, though. Just obviously take note of Burdering's position as he opts to reveal himself for a time. Twilight very close to that nano. Look at this ult charge lead.
Yeah, it's
No way.
get to sleep there. It looks like it was maybe on an ultraviolet, but
Yeah.
right away gets woken up. So, but still, yeah. I mean,
Great spot to be right now.
You are for Toronto though. Like you're not building up this nano as fast, but you are building up towards rally pretty quick.
That defense matrix is being used on cooldown by Kalush, and it's not enough. Oh, it is in fact.
they're
Kalios
gonna
opts to
live
take
through this.
Yeah. He opts to take an odd route, I guess, expecting them to back up the stairs, but Kalush actually does a great job in the end of shepherding his backline. Some things you can't plan for. Decay Pulse Bomb, definitely one of them. Ultraviolet there, having to succumb.
That's actually huge, the Decay Pulse Bomb kill there, because like the cart's making decent progress. In OG would have had Rally. You'd have Rally and Nano there to stack on top of each other. Lee gone, so
Yeah.
20% away from that Rally. You would have had that Rally to use with double support ult there. You could have like, nanoed Kaluge. If that didn't go great, you could have actually, popped your Rally there. So an opportunity for Toronto to maybe make a play, get stopped there by Decay's Pulse Bomb.
Yeah, I like the Kalush peel in the end. Turned out to be crucial, covering his back line. Birdring holding this EMP. And we're waiting for someone to be low and look to try and take the health pack. Oh, they walk into this. Okay, great little sleep there from Ultraviolet. Flips 180, finds the kill. Twilight turns around 360 and keeps going.
So you get no use to these support ults here as well for the Defiant. I mean, that may end up kind of like giving up your lead in terms of support ults, right?
Oh, man.
Twilight getting it closer towards, yeah, nasty little bit of stagger. So a minute and 30 on the clock. It's going to be really difficult to even surpass or, get close to Boston Uprising's time with this much time taken off the clock. But 5 ultimates here. This is like a must-win fight for the Defiant, I would say. If you don't win this fight, there's a very good chance you don't even get checkpoint A.
Birdering being a nuisance as per usual. It's looked really consistent on this Sombra. Also not a big risk taker. It's played out quite well. Okay, so Kaluge gets nano. OG blown up by Kalios. Excuse me. The Defiant have no opportunity to use these ultimates. They're going to hold them yet again. This time Ultraviolet parting with his. And there's no value gained. Kaluge is... Okay, he has to ult there because he doesn't want to get staggered. Crazy, you're forced to use 2 ults in that fight and get nothing for it. Boston still have 3 of their own.
So you have Rally EMP combination here for the Defiant.
They want him. They want him.
Oh, that is brutal. And it's extra brutal as well because where the payload is, Mitch, like even if you use these ultimates for the Defiant and won this next fight, you probably need another one, right?
Yep.
So you're in a position where you'd have to overinvest here. Boston Uprising can sit, laugh and say, okay, thanks. Come back with EMP double support ult and just hold on A. I mean, that's why it's so brutal to be in this situation.
Twilight has his nano back once more. Oh, okay, Hydron, okay. Twilight is... No, you don't win those. Yeah, there's no reason for that. Again, perhaps a let out position there because there's no one to come to his rescue from Boston. He did have the nano here, but an EMP might be enough to shut this down. It'd be a 4v5 fight win if possible. Yeah, Birdering says no. Like you said, Matt, we have 2 fights
There's
here.
no reason.
Let's just take the second.
Yeah. There's no reason. So everybody drop, right? You have Kalios, you can EMP, you can nano Kalios, have him on the cart. He can stall it out for a bit if you need. You still have Decay as well, and then you EMP, and that could be the game changer here for Boston. But also, Hydron holds onto this EMP all throughout. Didn't feel kind of worried in terms of having to pop it.
Kalios still got sticky fingers from the Baja Blast, stuck down on W. So he just wants to go up. Birdering's EMP there, not bad. Good catch, but follow-up lacking. Kalios was hacked, didn't have the mobility to come forward there. See what can, yeah, nicely done, Decay. That is just a straight-up bona fide prime solo kill. Self-destruct here for Kalios, trying to make sure that they can remech, and they do so. Pulse Bomb will be delivered pretty much straight away, but Kalios is hacked, taken out. Decay, though, again, OG goes down. That is unreal. First a solo kill, then a big pulse bomb elimination. Now Twilight's getting involved. Speedily realizes he's in deep trouble. Recall now and hack, and it's over. The Boston Uprising shut the door on Toronto here on Rialto.
And when you see Boston's roster, you expect them to play at like an elite level. I mean, they have so many talented players. We just like, it's just that 1 week that was super bizarre, right? Getting 3-0'd by the Washington Justice, and then getting a 3-0 win against the Titans. And really just kind of playing against a little bit of lower competition from there on. But here against Toronto, who we all think is a pretty good team, they are really kind of showing what they can reach as a peak. Probably even another level to it, where Boston playing quite good here.
Boston have been scrutinized. A lot of their wins coming against, ostensibly slightly weaker opponents here, but they look the real deal. This is a genuine force that is being developed in front of us. The Boston Uprising look to end the series on Esperanza. It's time for the Defiant, the newcomers, the young guns, to show some of that pluck and give as good as they get. Force it to a map 5. Stick around. Map number 4 is coming right up.
machine, cold like 0 degrees. I'm out the cage, gotta let out the beast. Revolutionary, gotta let out the streets. Locked in a cage, I'ma let out the. Wake up, get out the sheets. We came for war, man, forget my peace. You take the west, I'll take on the east. I'ma put them in the cage, never let out the. I hear him chat to the noise. Can't stop for the talking. Hot like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch my machine.
That's right, everybody. It's a battle of this raw talent in the Toronto Defiant going up against the veterans, the legacy, the years of Overwatch League tenure of the Boston Uprising. So far, the latter seems to be prevailing. A cool, calm, collected, yet very aggressive on the battlefield. Boston Uprising claim Rialto.
I mean, just the legacies of these players on the Boston Uprising. It's just crazy to think that this roster is one that you'd look at and be like, they're not going to be that good, right? Or just like mid. Bird Ring is like an all-time like Overwatch player, right? Just like throughout the years, Decay, one of the more hyped up damage dealers we've ever had. Twilight was an MVP candidate at one point, right? Yep. I mean, this guy was nutty.
Still delivering.
Yeah.
Still delivering, by the way. Absolutely ridiculous gameplay here from Twilight. This is his Rialto stats. The one death, I think, is the most telling part. Toronto Defiant, they don't even get that first checkpoint here. Very, very difficult for them to advance through the map. We talk a lot about Decay, quietly with air quotes, I say, doing work, but Twilight here quite often appears in the kill feed in the most bizarre of manners. Huge sleep darts when they really count, whether it's shutting down Kaluge or one of these other DPS. The guy is just a force to be reckoned with, and it's why the Boston don't go for like the Baptiste comp. They really just want to play Ana setups, and it makes sense. The guy, man, he's still as sharp as ever.
I mean, he only never really got to play full time because they had Violet as well there for the shock. But you got
and
Smurf.
Even that was contentious.
Yeah, exactly. You got Smurf coming back in here, 4 Kalios, no other subs coming into the game. But even that was like really. You bring in Twilight to play the Ana on that shock team, and he's always like performed really well on that hero. And now Ana, a big part of the meta, and Boston Uprising has him in all of the time, and you see the great things that he's able to do.
This is a team of role stars. Like, Bonafide, I'm Legion on the only one I'm not 100% on, but he's definitely in the conversation. Outside of that, though, like, you are looking at a class of players that were all handpicked to be sort of best in class in terms of their different roles. They come together on this team, and there's some tumult at the start of the season. There's also rumors about this team being a little volatile sometimes. Again, you've got some big personalities and some players that are used to being like the centerpiece on their teams, or at least very close to, right? Okay, I feel like Twilight was on an all-star team, and you could say the same for Smurf, but I'm sure there's ego. It comes with the territory with players like this, but they're putting it together when it matters. All that really matters is, outside of their bizarre social media strategy, is the map record, right? The match record, it's 4-1, looking to make it 5-1 with a win here on Esperanza. That's what's important.
Obviously, they would love to have a tremendous regular season, like all throughout. This team really, you just need to have them in gear towards playoff time. Like, if you're the Boston Uprising and, it takes you the year to kind of figure it out or whatever, right? I think, like, mid-season madness would be a huge, like, bonus, right? Probably, just gaining some momentum and confidence that, like, hey, we can actually do this with this team and, keep everybody on the same page. But this is a roster, when, like, the biggest lights are on and the biggest moments, like, they have so much experience playing in those games. Like, I would not want to play against a team like this. I mean, it would just be so scary.
They have so much experience, but there's also players that are known to crack under pressure on this Boston team. I think that's why people were so like ready to believe the narrative of this team sort of booming themselves, right? But again, look, as time goes on, this team's going to become much stronger as a unit, be able to trust each other a lot more. And the Defiant, they actually have a lot of history to lean back on themselves, right? We talk about legacy. Hydra doesn't really care for that. It's like, well, yeah, your legacy's in a pool on the ground right now. As you'll connect that headshot. The Defiant with a good start here.
And the big thing here is, can you keep Hydron alive, right? The dive, it's going to go right at him. He's this kind of static target here that the Boston Uprising can jump on and take advantage of. Can you keep him alive? I think if you can, and you can kind of keep him at range, he can actually just do what we just saw there. A nice headshot again, not able to pick up a kill. But yeah, like looking for Dynamite's close range, where you see how difficult it is to keep him up.
Birdring getting out alive. Call comes to keep applying the pressure here. Not bad from Ultraviolet. Slow Smurf down a little bit, but the fight's already over. Make no mistake there. And again, that's the question. Hydron is on Ash. Has Coach Gun have some degree of mobility, I suppose? But when Sombra comes and takes that away from you, and then Smurf just comes flying in, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I mean, you have Coach Gun, and then you can pretty much just throw Dynamite, try and get some tick damage, but you're not going to be able to make it far. It's really relying on being able to control the high ground, too, with Ash, right? Like, shooting up towards this high ground is not going to be great.
Speedly trying to pressure this back line, but guess what? The K's right there. Very quickly peeling. Smurf, that's not peel, he just needs healing. Like, yo,
they have a nano here, though. They end up keeping Twilight alive. They have a nano. They can actually use this onto Smurf up to the high.
Decay?
Actually, I wonder if
was that intentional?
Got in front of Smurf there. Yeah,
maybe. I believe that for sure.
You'd have to see it from Twilight's POV, but it looked like he kind of crossed like in front of, like cut to the little bit of left of Smurf, which would have sent that nano over to Decay.
It's like you would defensively nano a Tracer if they got EMP, but proactively seems like a very odd call to make.
Decay's like, oh man, I'm so sorry I did that. Like, and he just wanted the
that's
nano
right.
for himself.
Don't forget, I might be on the Uprising, but I'm still the MVP with that nano. All right, Smurf, big primal rage on OG, and Toronto are, well, they're being cut up and sold for scrap right now. This is not close anymore.
I think once you lose that high ground, it becomes really difficult to kind of play that. So let's take a
look at this.
So it's like what we're saying here is that the nano.
Oh, he did it!
Yeah, yeah.
I knew it. Oh man, it happens to the very best of us, right? That's why I use the target confirmation on my nano.
Yeah, or you know, there is a setting for like the sensitivity, right? If your sensitivity is not set up to like, you know, kind of go really fast with the nano, like he's still kind of looking in that area, and it just kind of transfers the sensitivity of the nano over to
Decay's like, you didn't mean to do that, did you? Like, oh no, yeah, I did. Decay, you're the boss, man.
I want to get
you're the guy. You're the guy.
Yeah, man.
That's for you, bro.
You
earned it.
You're him.
Oh, goodness. Twilight's got another one. Again, easy come, easy go. It doesn't matter if you miss a nano or two, and you get them every couple of minutes. Keeping Lee J gone up is paramount right now, and look at that. Twilight has done it pretty admirably. Eventually, the Defiant are able to commit enough resources to remove.
They hold on to this nano They hold on for the nano for so long that they basically give it over to Lee J right when he dies. So this is actually pretty decent here for the Defiant, right? I mean, you obviously give up a large amount of payload push, but you end up they end up using the rally and the nano in combination there, and it just goes for nothing. So maybe this is an opportunity.
Toronto spend a lot in that fight. Their coffers essentially emptied there.
Yeah, they needed to nano Lee J Gun a little bit earlier. I knew they were kind of like trying to maybe like leave the fight and hold on to it, but
yeah. Or maybe bait, bait more of an overextension before that nano Lee J Gon, so he gets much more value.
Oh my goodness! He doesn't get the healing benefit of the nano because Twilight's actually got him biotic, so they end up giving the nano over the damage reduction, but he doesn't get that big burst of healing, which probably expects.
Still a trade of tanks, but this is EMP here, which Berdering's probably disinclined to use right now. Could be a big factor in the next fight. Yeah, Toronto are going to tentatively push this forward here, but there's a lot of risk associated with this. That's why they use their Tracer. As soon as Decay starts marking this, this barrier, it's not going to move any further. Hey, nicely done, Twilight. Again, has a sixth sense about it. In comes Kaluge, out goes Twilight.
So I'd be able to use a biotic grenade to keep himself alive here for a period of time. There's still a good amount of time here before the Defiant to make a little bit of a comeback, but it's got to start soon. They have Hydra now over on the Sombra, which I think is the right call here. You got to try and match this.
Old Decay would have triple blink pulse to that. Look at the maturity on this guy. He only has one blink to be fair, but he holds off here. Knows that Smurf can go in and get a lot of value there. Very simple calculus. It's just a matter of nanoing this Winston. Smurf finding a great position to really spread a lot of damage here. And there's a checkpoint that's come up, and the Uprising now they're relaxing a lot, I must say. Like after that last fight, that's really where the momentum broke, I think, for the Defiant. Boston now have really eased into this Esperanza first half. Just under 4 minutes left, and Toronto have yet to show us anything to give us confidence.
Oh, is that EMP assassination there? Onto the Tracer is Kaluge. I mean, he is under so much pressure. That's it. Twilight actually with a double biotic grenade on the back line there, so wasn't going to try and use that sound barrier to keep players up. Still, you need an EMP to get that barrier moving, but you're getting so much progress here. The clock dwindling down. I mean, Toronto's going to need to win so many fights in a row here. Is Boston on the verge of maybe a full map completion?
Yeah, 3-1 victory. I think that's what Johnny had it at as well. He believed, I guess, in that individual play of the Boston Uprising and the experience they have. He's dead right by the looks of things. Turtleneck must lend him something a little extra. Nano on Kaluch here. He's heading into the back line. Can they keep Lee going up? No, they don't have a Nano in order to do so here. Birdring, unable to evade his fate for much longer either. So again, it's a couple of ultimates spent here for Toronto, but they're back in control.
Yeah, he tries to rally there, Lee Jae-gon, but not enough to keep himself alive, which maybe you'd like to have that ultimate, but I think that Boston realizes when you get in this type of position in push, the Defiant need to basically win every fight for almost the remainder of the clock to be able to take this, where they're going to have to throw pretty much, treat every fight like last fight in terms of ultimates, where even if you lose this one, you're okay if you're the Uprising. You come back, you fight another one, but look at this, they're going to take a fight at the middle of the map. Nice hack there by Birdring onto Speedily and then finishes him off.
Speedily's getting farmed, man. Yet again, the hack follow-up has been perfect. Hydron EMPing, he's really committing for this kill on Twilight. Kalush going with the Primal Rage. Said it, Toronto need to win at basically every team fight from here on out. This one costs them 2 ultimates.
The worst part is the bot went back the other way.
Oh, the bot.
The bot went back the other way, so actually it was Smurf putting some pressure on the bot, so not even gaining any progress. And where the bot is like almost the worst spot, because you have this bridge control, right? You can just sit on top of if you're the Uprising.
What?
Play from the high ground. It's going to take a lot to try and break this. And look at the setup there, though. They actually got a hack on the OG, right? Smurf is basically pushing him into Birdring there, and then taking him out.
Hydron just turned to red mist instantly. As soon as Smurf hit that primal, I don't know what happened, because Hydron came in for the hack initially to set up like a 1-2 between him and Kalush on a Smurf. Smurf survives, hits the primal. Hydron gets torn limb from limb. I don't know what happened there. That is brutal. Smurf just finds 2 effortless Primal Rage kills here. Now there's a play set up around the translocator. So finally, there's a read on Birdring here. Birdring's not being pressured here. They just removed the translocator because Hydron doesn't want to spend the next 10 seconds sat on top of his translocator.
And you need to do something, right? And OG uses sound barrier. It's just 2 players, him and Kalush, but you're forced to back up anyway. Things falling apart here. This is going to be a Nano on the Smurf. He's pretty far from the enemy spawn, but he actually jumps back to try and put some pressure on Kalush. Doesn't want Kalush to just run through his backline.
Kalush got Nano, still has to jump out of the fight. Too much pressure for him to handle. Birdring does get picked off here. Lee Jae-gon used that rally, so it's just a pulse bomb for Decay. Could end it here, though. 20 seconds left to play. The Toronto Defiant, it's been a back and forth last couple of weeks for this team. The Boston Uprising are proving more of a challenge than they may have anticipated. Some strong words from Hydron in their previous interview. Right now, not showing up when it counts.
On Decay with a pulse bomb.
Look at his eyes darting.
Yeah.
He is calculating. Running the numbers.
High ground with that pulse bomb. I think just trying to figure out where a target is. Trying to locate the supports. Hasn't really seen them just yet.
Nano? Ooh. Hey, yeah, that was pretty nasty. Great responsive by UV. Kalush looks like he'd be dead to rights, but the Primal Rage baited that in pretty effectively. Seeing the bio on the Winston, I know why Decay thought he could find that kill. He gets baited, but still plenty of chances for Boston here.
Yeah, he was
Wait!
What? Smurf just spawn camping here, it looks like. Yeah, is he gonna get ultraviolet as well?
This guy single-handedly, yep, he just killed 3. He just killed 3.
Oh.
He's gonna have 4.
It's always at 4! It's always at Winston flanking in the backline, right? Right up in your spawn as Smurf makes a play there to seal the deal for the Boston Uprising. Man, what a play by Smurf.
That is wrong, man. That is wrong. It doesn't make any sense, man. The Toronto Defiant, that is egregious. Toronto, I guess, no choice but to go forward. Here's the problem, right?
Yeah.
In overtime, you have to stay on the bot. Getting on the bot pushes the bot. All of a sudden, your team gets... Oh my goodness, I need to... Someone just point a hose at me. Just hose me down. I'm done. I'm absolutely cooked. That is unfair.
Dude, we
Smurf,
gotta see that. I mean, Smurf just in the back line like he's Sombra, just mowing people down. Ends up getting 4 there at the end. Poor Ultraviolet, nothing he could really do, right? He just kind of gets caught up in all of it. He's trying to make his way back to help the rest of the team on the Ana, and he just gets primaled into a corner.
He hit the sleep too.
He did hit the sleep
he
as well.
Kind of what he had. He did what he had to do to get away, but at that point, there has to be a player from the Defiant moving the bot, and they have to be moving rapidly away from the rest of their team. So, you know, you pick a pretty good time to get in there, be disruptive, make use of that primal rage. Smurf's mechanics on that hero are second to none, and that's a tough matchup for anyone to take on, let alone Kaluge here. And the Toronto Defiant come back down to earth a little bit more. We're reminded of the caliber of player on the Boston Uprising team. If nothing else, that is more than enough to give them this record that now they move to 5-1. Let's do player of the match, Matt. It's not a hard sell for me.
Yeah, I mean, Twilight was awesome on the Ana all day long. Whether it was sleeps, big biotic grenades, seemed like the nanos, pretty good timing on those all throughout, where you see him play this Ana. I know at the level we've seen in the past. Think back when I know he was on Vancouver. You talk about him as like MVP type candidate. You know, moving over to the Shock, playing the Ana for them. You see him on this hero. You combo that with like a player like Smurf in the Winston spot. I mean, that is should be a recipe for success. I mean, look at the plays there.
It's like that meme format where they're in a boardroom and the guy suggests, hey, let's put Twilight on Baptiste. And you just, the next frame, he's like flying out the window, right? This team is never going to, you know, want to do that, right? They're not going to want to play these Ramatra setups that require Twilight to move away from this Ana because the Ana's just perfect. Really impressive sleep dart accuracy when quite often this is being fired off on cooldown unless Twilight is expecting to be dove or to have to counter a key ultimate. So that's pretty impressive. The amount of disruption that you're actually able to cause, 4.8 per 10, quite significant here. And really solid hero damage, I think, sort of per 10. 45 minutes played. So, you know, this guy's been sat on his hero, not moving away from it. More than serviceable. This guy is one of the very best at what he does. Yeah, again, 3.2k damage. Do not flush salad down the toilet.
Look, I didn't condone.
Did I suggest that?
I didn't condone the flushing the salad down the toilet.
No, I didn't.
I just heard it's a thing. Probably don't try it. If you do, try it at somebody else's house. Don't try it at your house.
Don't try it in like a team house.
Yeah, don't try it in a team house.
Definitely don't go to your co-caster's house and try it with their toilet.
Yeah, maybe also not the best idea to go to a friend's house. Just walk into the bathroom with a whole plate of food and just be like, oh yeah, hold on, I'll be right back, and dunk it down. Probably not the best idea.
Yeah. Not even for science, chat. I'm looking at you collectively. Don't do that. Anyway, well, the Defiant get flushed just like the aforementioned salad here. Not a great game for them, but the Boston Uprising look a little different. I definitely want to hear what the desk have to say here, Matt, because this was pretty convincing, pretty compelling indicator of how the Uprising are looking against the rest of the competition. Maybe there's no excuse for them not to be in this top 3. Yeah. Anyway, something to food for thought. Let's head over to the desk and hear their thoughts.
쿤 명아.
아, 하나 잡을 듯?
보여줘. 1평 먹었다, 쟤.
야, 우리는 화물 봐. 우리는 나머지 화물 봐. 야, 몽키도 개피야. 몽키도 개피야.
나머지 화물.
화물 살아봐. 나 왔어.
화물만 봐.
미드 잡았어. 이선 잡았어.
나이스. GG.
나이스. 명아님.
Okay, quick rundown. A lot of yelling, a lot of screaming, a lot of, oh, he's really won. I heard Monkey's also really won and get the kills. A lot of screaming.
Just play car.
Yeah. That's what I heard.
I never trust a teammate when it's like, no, he's won. It's like he's never won.
There's one
like,
and
really
there's
won.
really one.
Yeah.
They're different. There's a distinction there. One is like 100 HP. It's like 100. Really one is like they better be one, man. I better tickle this guy and he goes down. Like
I heard really. I think direct translation is. I can't say it on broadcast, but I think it's yeah. I
but
think
really won.
But he said really won.
Really, for sure, definitely a one. Right, those were the winning moments. Not the only person happy, of course, are the people from the Boston Uprising. No, we have you, here on the desk.
Turtleneck guy.
The turtleneck guy. He's gloating and it's kind of disgusting, but I'm gonna let you have your 2 minutes.
Oh, like you wouldn't gloat if you were in my position. Like you wouldn't gloat.
We would definitely not. No, we wouldn't.
I was just the only one who predicted South Korea's B team to be Team USA correctly. Of course I'm going to gloat about it.
Fair.
Yeah, well, go for it. Like, tell me all about it. Like, how you feel.
I will say, when Toronto Defiant took a 1-0 lead, Jake was so annoying in the green room in the back that I just had to lean in for the remainder of the series. I told you that Toronto Defiant would come out with these fraudulent Jungle Queen compositions, trying to play Symmetra and a bunch of awful, annoying compositions. But guess what? Sheer mechanical skill in these Sombra, Tracer, Echo compositions. This is what we love to see in professional Overwatch, Jake. None of this trying to outsmart your opponent. Individual skill. Boston Uprising has it overflowing.
It's fair. I think especially where Toronto looked really weak in this series was that we saw them like kind of grasping this identity recently of, you know, these backline hit scans, running more Hanzos, running more Widows, having some success with that. But against a strong dive opponent playing the Tracer Sombra, it just doesn't look viable. I feel like time and time again, we've seen the difference between the top teams and the sort of mid or lower teams is that they you know, like you can make the Hanzo work against these middle of the pack teams, but a good solid Sombra Tracer is just devastating. It's too hard to keep all these greedy damage dealers alive.
Right, can we all agree that, you know, the Boston boomage is over?
Yeah, I think we might have to let that narrative die.
I mean, they still haven't beaten any good teams.
Fair. Toronto Defiant is like the middle of the pack.
Hey, we'll find out though.
But arguably, this is like who have they faced that's much
Boston is going up against
No, really, they haven't. I mean.
Well,
yes, okay.
We also won't learn anything from that. Unless Boston pop off, but
which is fair, but also that still would make them a middle of the pack team. Yeah. So they're not as boomed as some might have suggested.
I'm a patient man.
You're just waiting for the
boomers to happen.
Anytime.
You want them to peak in November or something like that, yeah.
They're peaking now. They're getting, we're winning some matches, guys, and then.
And then
when you fall off or play out, they're going to show up. They're going to be like, they're going to qualify for the midseason madness, but they're not going to Korea. That's what I'm calling them. I'm calling them at that level. They're not making the top 2 of the elimination tournament.
Real hater. Do love it.
Praying on their downfall. You heard it here.
And on that note, we're going to have a winner's interview now with the Boston Uprising. So please, don't take it away.
You got any words?
Guys, we got DJ Gon for the post-match interview. I hope DJ Gon didn't hear any of that. Hopefully he did it. Yeah, we got Lee Jae-gon. There you go. Lee Jae-gon, congratulations on getting the win today. Hello, hi. Yes, I mean, hey, last time you guys played a Canadian team, you guys lost. But this time around, you guys got the win. How'd you guys, what gave you guys the edge against the Toronto Defiant today? 자, 지금까지 캐나다 팀 2팀이나 했는데 저번에는 패배를 했지만 이번엔 승리를 거두셨습니다. 오늘 어떻게 해서 토론토를 이기시게 되신 것 같으신가요?
서로 이제 좀 팀합이 안 맞던 부분이 있었는데 서로 의견을 존중하면서 잘 이겨냈던 것 같습니다.
의견을 존중했다. Okay. I think one of the problems that we had was definitely teamwork and communication. We really focused on that. We try to really listen to each other's opinions and what they had to say, I think, and that was the key to our victory against Toronto Defiant. Now, next match is a big one for Boston Uprising because you guys are going up against Atlanta Reign, who is looking like to be one of the best teams we have, or the best team in the Western region right now. How confident are you for that matchup against Atlanta Reign? 자, 다음 경기 이제 좀 미래로 봐서 다음 경기가 아틀란타와 경기가 있습니다. 지금 현 상태로는 아틀란타가 지금 저희 서부 지역의 최강의 팀이라고 뭐 말해도 과언은 아닌데요. 그 경기에 대해 좀 얼만큼 자신감 있으신가요?
얼만큼 자신있냐 물어보시면 저희 애틀란타전에 뷰잉 파티가 있거든요. 그때 놀러와 주시면 감사하겠습니다.
Alright, how confident am I? We are having a viewing party for the match against Atlanta Reign. Please come to our viewing party. Great promotion. You're a smart man. 굉장히 똑똑하신 선수인 것 같습니다. Alright, Lee Jae-gon, thank you so much for your time and hope to talk to you soon. 인터뷰 해주셔서 감사드리면서 보내드리도록 하겠습니다. 감사합니다.
감사합니다.
Thank you so much to Lee Jae-gon. Congratulations, of course, to him and the entire team. Thoughts?
It's great to hear that they're solving communication issues. I think that was what I was worried about with this team, you know, with the rumor mill circling. So if they're able to really solve that and build the coordination, I mean, it's clear that, as Matt said, the talent is there. You know, it's just that if you stop at that statement...
He's cursed. He's lost. He's lost.
Mitch is holding his fist right now.
The talent is there, but the coordination can be there too, right? Yeah. And the reason that we say, oh, the talent is there is because they're missing that next ingredient, the team play, the teamwork. But as Lee Jae-gon said, if that can, you know, be fixed, and they can build those solid coordinations, we know they can execute really well. It felt like they had more of a clear identity in this series with the Sombra Tracer, the Winston dives. They were really solid. Toronto, they couldn't stay alive.
I honestly think if they really work on that team synergy and that communications thing, they could definitely be up there with Houston and Atlanta, right? Because, I mean, we all know that these players are great players.
Yeah, like based on the player, it could be a super team.
They have the talent. And the team synergy could be there.
Sure. So many things that could be there. One thing that's for sure is that they got the W today and they made it look good. So let's take a look at the scores. Vegas Eternal go down against the Gladiators in our first match of the day, a 3-0 victory. San Francisco Shock took one map off of the Houston Outlaws, and our last match between the Boston Uprising and Toronto Defiant ended in a victory for the Boston Uprising. And these lead us to the current standings, as is Boston Uprising now finding themselves up there with our top teams. How far can they take it? According to Jake, just until the knockout stage, and that's it. That's where they get stopped. But we'll find out very soon. I mean, obviously, you always have to take into account strength of schedule. Some teams might get luckier for the spring qualifiers versus, you know, some might have an easier, quote-unquote, easier schedule heading into the next one. You never know.
There's so many variables, meta, what teams you face, who's strong when you face them. Maybe they're strong now, they get weak later. You can't know.
Yeah, so there's only so much you can take away from it. One thing we can take away from a